This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is Community Information Kevin Captain.
And welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain, and I'm joined by co-host today, Dave Hunt. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors, the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How's it been going?
It's going. It's a little warm out there. We're going to have more hot weather.
Yeah, it's about that time of the year where on the weekends I start looking for water or I start looking for AC. And luckily today we got some guests in the studio with some great options for some indoor fun.
And I think one of them includes food. So that always piques my interest. I don't know about you.
Oh, food is one of my favorite things.
So with us today, we have Chad Mcphee. He's the manager of the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. And we also have Melissa Reynolds. Melissa is the regional librarian for Northeast Volusia, which includes Ormond Beach and Daytona Beach. She works for the Volusia County Public Library System, and she's got an exciting new program to tell us about. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What you got going on with the new, I think is it Culinary Literacy? Tell us about that.
Culinary Literacy, we have our Recipe and Reads Family Culinary Labs at the Volusia County Libraries, where we serve up comprehensive culinary literacy programs for children and caregivers. And that could include hands-on demonstrations of food, nutritional literacy, food acquisitions, safety in the kitchen, and consumer cost-saving techniques and meal stretching. We introduced the program back in April. We're going through early fall, and to date, we've already had 134 events.
Wow.
And we have served 2,200 children, teens, and caregivers.
So culinary literacy, what does that mean?
Well, culinary literacy is the overall science, art, math, and of course, reading, since we are a library, necessary in cooking. And that could include reading and writing recipes, understanding cooking terms and measurements, understanding flavor profiles, reading labels, understanding the cost of food. But culinary literacy even includes how to navigate a grocery store or a farmer's market to get the best bang for your buck.
Well, it sounds like an amazing program.
Yeah.
And I think I could definitely use some help with that because, I got my standards. I got my chicken thighs and my steak and my burgers. But at some point, I would like to be able to expand. Is the staff actually cooking meals in the library? And do participants actually get to sample food?
Yes, at each regional library, we have library staff that we have trained in safety handling and food hygiene, and they use specialized cooking carts to demonstrate recipes, demonstrate kitchen skills, show how to stretch a meal or reuse food scraps, along with some of our friends at the health department or other trained nutritionists to do these demonstrations. And when possible, yes, there is sampling.
Wow.
That sounds amazing. So I know the Volusia County Library has 14 branches. Are these programs going on in all the branches?
Well, not exactly all 14 branches yet. We have 6 specialized cooking carts, and they are located at our largest facilities, such as Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach, Port Orange, DeLand, and Deltona, because there we can reach the largest number of families. When this series ends in the fall, we still have those carts, and they are mobile, and it is our hope to get more staff trained and to be able to then deploy those carts at some of our other locations, since word of mouth and participation has just been so high this summer.
Well, I'm a Port Orange guy, so I'm definitely going to be coming to check out the program.
I bet there's people lining up to go check out the carts. So, speaking of the not just the carts, but you're also offering workshops as well in tandem with this culinary literacy program.
Yes, our culinary labs are a mix of impromptu pop-up events inside our libraries where right after story time, we might push the cart out as families are leaving story time and give a quick demonstration of how to make your own applesauce. Or we might greet you at the front door one day at a library and teach you how to properly chop vegetables and fruit safely and how to handle a knife. But also part of that program are those larger workshops where we might do a full recipe, demonstrate how you can use eggs 15 different ways and stretch them. And again, we might invite our friends from the health department or other agencies to really lend their expertise to do those fuller demonstrations and workshops. And again, sample if we have enough supplies.
How about spices? Do you teach how to use spices? My wife uses them all in everything, and there's so many that we have, but I get confused.
we do talk about the science of food and flavor profiling. There are some spices that are complementary to one another and some that don't quite work so well together. So we do explore some of that. But we also talk about fresh fruits and vegetables that are in season and how important that is and how that is a cost savings. We've had a lot of citizens give us feedback that they've never had a fresh vegetable. They were surprised that it was crisp or crunchy because they're just accustomed to canned or frozen vegetables. So, and in a setting like that, children will try something they won't necessarily try for moms and dads at home. And so we are mindful of flavors.
Well, it sounds like a super comprehensive program. And as you were talking, I heard you mention story time. And I know you all have a lot of events going on all the time.
Yes.
Where can I find these events? How can I learn more?
So our listeners can visit the library website at volusialibrary.org for recipes and reads. I know that next week we have pizza stuffed bell peppers in Daytona Beach. We have energy bites in DeLand next week. And I know we are experimenting with caprese salad and pesto again with spices and herbs at the Port Orange Library.
I'll be there.
Later next week. But again, with 134 events already behind us, we have multiple events every single week.
That's a lot of events. How were these all funded?
Well, they were funded through grants and provisions from the Library Services and Technology Act from the Institute of Museum and Library Services.
One more question before you go.
Okay.
I'm going to preface it by saying I use Hoopla. So
I do too, Dave.
Hoopla.
I love it.
If you don't know about Hoopla, it's a book rental service, Audible book rental service provided by the library for free. I'll let you tell more about it. You know a lot more than me, but when I found out about it, it just opened the door for me, and now I've listened to Hoopla basically every day.
Every day for me too.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it's not rental because it is free.
Right.
It's borrowing free with your library card. Hoopla is a platform that's available again at volusialibrary.org. It's a streaming platform that allows you to check out books, audiobooks, music, and movies again with your library card. Hoopla and Volusia County have such a wonderful relationship that we are now ranked 6th in the nation for usage for Hoopla and 2nd in the state of Florida. And we have 12,000 library users a month checking out materials on that particular platform, but we have others.
And that's what brought me back into the library. I heard about Hoopla, and then I heard I had to get a library card, so I went to the library, got my library card, got my daughter her library card, and now we visit the library and have Hoopla. It was a win-win-win all the way around.
Absolutely, and that is something that is at all 14 locations. You can come in, get your library card, and we have trained staff at every location that will get your platform set up for you so that you can start listening and reading immediately.
It's very easy. I downloaded the app, and I was listening to a book that was a pretty lengthy book and Bluetoothing it through my car because I have a long drive. And the beauty of it was, although the borrowing time expired on this particular book that I was listening to, I went back actually last night and I went to the Hoopla app, took a second I had to re-borrow the book. So I thought, oh no, I don't know where I left off in the book. I think it was somewhere in maybe halfway through. It remembered exactly where I left off and a button just showed up and said resume. I mean, talk about easy. I didn't have an easy button in my car to hit, but I wanted to.
Well, and it's equally easy then to take that book with you from your car into your house. And, I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm cleaning. So I can just pick right back up from my car from my ride home. I can cook my dinner and continue to clean, do laundry, and I'm still listening to my book, just jumping from one smart device to the next.
Amazing. And it's really amazing what all the services the library does provide, the libraries, plural, here in Volusia County. So you must love it. How long have you been with the system?
This is my 18th year serving Volusia County through the library system.
That's wonderful. Melissa Reynolds, she's the regional Regional Manager and Librarian for
Yes.
Northeast Volusia. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and what great programs you guys are doing in the library system.
Well, thank you both for having me. It was my pleasure to share.
Thank
bet.
you, Melissa.
Well, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk with Chad Mcphee with the Marine Science Center. Stay with us.
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
Volusia County is our home. If we don't respect it, who will? Litter is a problem, one that we can solve. But it's going to take all of us working together. Did you know that Volusia County has several programs and events that can help keep our coastal environment clean and litter-free? You can become a jetty ambassador, participate in a waterway or coastal cleanup, utilize a fill-a-bag station, organize a beach cleanup, or adopt a beach. I walk the beaches every day. I see the pollution that's around, and I want to make it better, and each and every one of us have a part in this. We have receptacles everywhere in Volusia County. Make sure you use them. That's why they're here. The problem is serious, and one we have created. Well, you don't have to go far from the beach to see the effects of it. You can come right here to our Marine Science Center and see our turtles and our birds and the effects that it takes on them. Many of them were suffering from being caught or entangled in fishing line and gear left in the environment, or ingesting litter and trash such as plastic bags and balloons. This can lead to severe injury or even death. What matters is that we all do our part to fix it. Don't be a litter bug, and pick up litter when you see it. Every litter bit counts. It is up to all of us to teach all of them to what? Keep Volusia litter-free. Keep Volusia beautiful.
We're back. I'm Dave Hunt along with Kevin Captain, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Thanks, Dave. So with us now is Chad Mcphee. He's the manager of the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
You bet. So, we just got done talking to Melissa about the libraries, and I noticed you came in the studio this morning, and in your hand is a book from the Volusia County Library System. Tell us about the book you have in your hand, because I think it's awesome.
Well, it's called The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, and was just kind of searching in the library for something new, and I love dinosaurs and saw that, and it has it's been an excellent book, and I've learned a ton about dinosaurs, so very happy.
That is how ironic, because now tell us, I heard that we have the Raptor Education and Conservation exhibit at the Marine Science Center. It's been approved. So before we go any further, let me clarify. What exactly is the meaning of, quote, raptor? I mean, you're not going to have dinosaurs running amok down at the Marine Science Center.
Well, that would be really cool to have some, especially
now that
some.
you're reading the book,
especially some velociraptors, because coincidentally, velociraptors and modern birds are related. Velociraptors had feathers and hollow bones, so and obviously they have raptor in their name as well. So, but our modern day raptors, they have excellent eyesight. They're apex predators. They have talons and hooked beaks. So that's what makes a raptor. And nobody loves anything than to kind of see a red-tailed hawk flying around and swooping down and catching a lizard or a mouse or sometimes even a snake. You know what I mean? So those are the great things that you get to see in Florida. Just by walking outside and catching them at the right moment.
For sure.
And us not being the prey is a big benefit versus
Yes,
the old
Dave.
raptors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us why you need more space for the raptors who are brought to the Marine Science Center.
Well, gosh, on average, we bring in 1,100 to 1,200 birds per year.
Wow.
And our operation has been impacted by the avian flu, but we're hoping to open back up to admitting these birds soon. I mean, we miss it. It's a huge part of our mission. And these phases of rehabilitation, one of our bottlenecks is only having 4 conditioning cages. So by creating this new amazing raptor education and conservation exhibit, we're going to be able to open up the 7 cages that we currently use for our raptor row and turn those into rehabilitation spaces, and be able to open this brand new exhibit that's going to be located closer to the main campus of the main building, kind of combine our educational opportunities and just really improve that exhibit. We're really, really excited.
With all the birds that you bring in to the rehab, to the hospital, are many of them fish hook ingestions, and what are some of the injuries that you experience, and what would you say is the average time that they stay in the bird hospital?
Well, we do get quite a few of entanglements and fish hooks, especially with our seabirds. Some of them are hit by cars, and some of them are just sick. They can be loaded with parasites. You know, it's Ponce Inlet and Volusia County is a very special place because it's a major part of the Atlantic Flyway. These birds that migrate thousands of miles from the North Pole to the South Pole, and they depend on these great Volusia County habitats to stay and rest and to feed and get that energy back to fly on. So a lot of them are just exhausted, and we get those birds in, and we know which ones are in the migratory process, and we try to give them fluids and get them back out there as soon as possible so they can rejoin their flock and go to where they're supposed to go. So a lot of different reasons, and that's, I think, one great thing about the Marine Science Center and our program is that we can use some of these stories to help educate the public how important it is to make sure they're cleaning up their fishing line, that they're being responsible fishers, and they know what kind of impacts that maybe subconsciously they didn't realize what kind of impacts they have on birds and wildlife, and educate them how to lessen those impacts.
And I was going to say the education piece with the rehabilitation piece is such a big thing, because I came down there and learned about the services that you offer, about the birds, and we had some ducks at the TCK that laid some eggs. There was no mom around, and we just called down to you guys, found out about, now we have baby ducks. They said leave them alone, they should be fine. Now we have baby ducks walking around all over the place. I would have had no clue. I thought the eggs were abandoned. I had no clue about the ducks, but just calling down there and finding out the best practices, or bringing birds down to the Marine Science Center when we can, is a huge service, and it's happened multiple times throughout my life, and I'm sure you all saved a bunch of birds throughout the time.
Absolutely, and that's, I mean, I love fish and grew up loving fish and snorkeling and diving, but working at the Marine Science Center, I realized how, not only how important birds are, but how much people love birds, and there's a big birding community, and it's great because the birders, they understand conservation, and they're big, supporters of what the Marine Science Center does, and all of the great things that Volusia County does to help conserve these habitats and these animals, including the Marine Science Center. It's not cheap to run the Marine Science Center, and the county gives us the great support we need. So very, very appreciative.
And just touching on what Dave said too about if somebody sees a bird that might be injured or ill, we obviously discourage the human from going to touch them or pick them up. But the best thing to do is to just call you guys or call FWC, or what's the best recommendation there?
Well, call the Marine Science Center or the FWC. Like I said, right now, because of the avian flu, you don't want to touch it. The FWC is recommending to not touch or pick up any injured or diseased birds, and the reason being is that you could spread that on your clothes to people that have poultry in their backyard or other wild birds. Fortunately, it seems like we're seeing less and less cases, and hopefully this is going to move out with the migratory flock, and we can get back to business.
Good.
Things will be a little different, but we'll have to be definitely aware of when they come back through and looking for these cases. But we've made some improvements, and we're going to be able to do it. We're excited. Excellent.
We're talking with Chad Mcphee. He's the manager of the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. We'll take a quick break and come back and continue talking with Chad. Stay with us.
Airborne! Okay, why don't we go to the Marine Science Center? Yeah! Are you looking for a new adventure? Come on down to the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Watch as our staff cares for sick and injured sea turtles. You can also explore our marine exhibits, touch some stingrays, visit our gift shop, and stroll through the Seabird Sanctuary. Afterward, you can visit the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse. The Marine Science Center is open every day but Monday.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
We're back. I'm Dave Hunt along with Kevin Captain, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia. So we're talking about raptors. Chad, what issues are raptors and other birds facing these days that affect their populations?
Well, one of the easiest to understand is just habitat. Birds need trees for their nests, and also the food source that trees provide, and also to a safe place for them to roost away from predators. So Volusia County has a number of programs to educate the public about responsible development, and also Volusia Forever that helps to conserve these lands, that especially these critical lands that are important to not only raptors and birds but wildlife in general. So that's the easy part to understand. Another part that a lot of people don't think about or don't understand is the food chain, and that's the importance of these prey items that birds live off of. We all need food to survive. And luckily, we can go to the library and learn more about how to make crickets or insects taste better. But it's so important, and a lot of people don't think about that. And so understanding the food chain and especially insects. I mean, I grew up loving insects, and I can't express the importance of having this suitable habitat in your backyard for attract birds to your backyard's great. But it's the insects that they're feeding on that's attracting them, and it's going to help these populations, rebound or continue to survive. So, it's important when you think about your yard and making this a suitable habitat, and that's the landscapes that you use. And we live in Florida, and it's important that we consider native Florida landscapes for our yards. These plants are used to living in Florida,
Sure.
and they're drought tolerant, and they're used to the heavy sunshine and things like that. And fortunately, also, a lot of them are beautiful flowered plants. The Spanish didn't call it Florida because there wasn't a lot of flowers.
Right.
And so there's a lot of beautiful options, and these flowers attract pollinators. Pollinators are extremely important and in decline, and a big prey item for birds. So it's, like I said, it's just important to kind of look at this big picture,
Right.
Not only of throwing some bird seed in your yard or having some trees. And trees also do a great job to help shade your lawn, and it requires less water. So, think about it in the big picture.
I was going to say one thing about the trees. You bring up the trees. I have a big bull pine tree. Well, the tree guys who like to come leave their card call it a bull pine tree. You got a big bull pine tree. Can we trim it up? But that bull pine tree is taller than any other tree around. And every day there's hawks in it. I see swallowtail kites flying around the area. Mm-hmm. There's just so much bird activity at the top of that tree. I would be remiss to ever do anything to that tree.
And thanks, Dave, because I'll tell you one thing that resonates with me, Chad, when you mention about the insects on the decline, because there's so much insecticides that are out there. Just what an individual can do here living in Volusia County. I mean, I have bird feeders in the backyard and little suet baskets and things, and it's amazing what that draws. And we love to sit in the backyard and just listen to the cardinals sing back and forth and charge down to the suet and eat a little bit. So there are individual things that we can do to help attract the birds and keep them healthy and kind of keep that food chain a little bit more intact.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's just kind of researching and being smart, or come to the Marine Science Center and learn more about not only your backyard habitat, but the importance of the Indian River Lagoon habitat and mangrove habitat, and there's just so many things to learn about, and the small things that you can do to help conserve these areas for the wildlife, for not only for us to enjoy, but we really have to consider these future generations. I have grandkids, and I want to make sure that when they come to visit, that we can go fishing and enjoy these outdoor areas. So I think it's a teamwork. It's something we have to all work on together.
And that's what the Marine Science Center is all about: education, awareness, making sure that we're continuing to keep Volusia County a beautiful place with our wildlife.
It is, and I'm amazed at how much support we have for the Marine Science Center. And this Raptor Education and Conservation exhibit was a great example of how the community came together. We were able to raise $125,000 to match county and ECHO funds for this exhibit, and that came from businesses, a couple of nonprofit foundations, and including the Paul and Constance Hunter Foundation and the Felborn Foundation and the Next Energy Foundation. And then we had a couple of great volunteers at the Marine Science Center that helped us build these relationships. Mindy Ash and Janet Knock they just worked tirelessly to build these relationships and help us with this fundraiser. So I want to thank them.
It certainly takes those champions and everyone's effort. And I also heard, before we started the show, I heard you talking with Melissa from the library. It's amazing, even within the county, the library helps the Marine Science Center. Tell us about, it was a 3D printing job you did for them.
Yes, it was an anemone.
A coral polyp.
A coral polyp, okay, a coral polyp that we needed to 3D print in multiple colors that would change color, and we had to reset up our 3D printer to be able to make those models for you for one of your educational programs.
And it works great. We use this model to show and talk about coral bleaching. When you have a rise in temperature and that starts to affect corals, and they begin to bleach. So it's a great example for the kids to understand that. We put it in some hot water, and it changes from a colorful pink color to a clear color, and gives a great example. So
I love hearing the synergy between the county divisions. That's just absolutely terrific. So Chad, in the last minute, what do you do in your time off? I know you get some time off. I think I've asked you this before, and you said something about you're an avid diver.
Yeah, absolutely. I love our artificial reef program, and I love diving our artificial reefs and the jetties too when we want to do something easy. But it's just amazing to go and dive on our steel hull ships and our concrete piles and reef balls and see all of the different animals that live out there. It's an incredible program, and whenever I can get offshore and dive and check all that stuff out, I hope where I'm at.
Well, that you're certainly making a difference, and Melissa, you as well with the library. Thank you so much for being with us on the show today. Melissa with the library system, and Chad with Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Thank you both so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
With that, we'll close Volusia Today. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors. Have a great today.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.